Hello, my loves, and welcome to your Aries super stellium new moon, a new moon in Aries on April 17th. So this reading is going to be centered around that energy and what this Aries super stellium and especially the new moon is going to be activating for you. And this one particularly is for my water sign. So Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, this one is for you. Wherever you have water in your chart like that, any of those three signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, whether it is, sun, moon, or rising, this will kind of apply to you. Now, first and foremost, the color frequency coming in with this Aries stellium energy, this super stellium new moon, is red. Card number 2, red. And this says free yourself from pain. So, right away, I will say that this new moon is hitting deep for you guys, man. Red is that root chakra energy. And so this is really kind of touching the body, touching the nervous system, survival patterns, and root chakra governs safety and stability and things like that too. So like the places where pain has been stored deep in the body on a foundational kind of level, right? Root chakra is that foundational kind of energy. So, again, survival mode kind of energy. And this has shown up quite often in some of the other signs readings too. So, like, you guys are not alone in this. I'm just going to say that first and foremost. We are all going through major transformation energy with all this Aries fire. At spring equinox, we just entered into a brand new astrological new year. So it's a brand new chapter. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. So we're also in a universal number 1 year in 2026 with this fire horse energy. So this is constant energy of new beginnings, of, fire as an activator, initiation kind of, energy, forward momentum kind of energy, new cycle energy. And for you water signs, this this is not light. This is not surface level type transformation. This is an invitation to release some deeply, deeply seated pain. Pain that you have probably carried in your physical body, or that has manifested into physical form because it's been lodged in your body for so long. I'm talking like pain that has shaped your responses, your reaction to pain, even on a physical, mental, and emotional level. So, this pain has influenced how you see life, how safe you feel in your body, how safe you feel to even, like trust yourself and to open and move forward. For some of you, that even involves rest, like feeling safe to rest. It's that energy of performance as a value, and trauma responses like that are deeply, deeply embedded within us, all kind of coming up to the surface right now. So for you guys, water signs, man, this energy is not coming in gently for you at all. This is really coming to burn shit down. This is meant to loosen things, and to break you guys open and really free you from the burden of carrying this pain, the wounds, the emotional weight, all of that has been sitting in your body, in your nervous system for far, far too long. And again, with this being that root chakra energy, this can be tied to protection and kind of bracing for impact, survival things, how you've kind of, learned to hold yourself, when things are, heavy and intense like this. So you guys might be having a really hard time right now, especially with Chiron in the mix. That's all of our wounds coming up to the surface. So you guys are, man, whew, I feel for you. I got a lot of water in my chart too, so I get it because I'm Cancer rising. So I'm there with you guys, but I'm also air. Anyway, now the areas of your life that the areas that are being impacted for you guys most right now. First and foremost, we have card 96, forgiveness. Okay, and with that blue and purple energy here, we are, we're hitting throat chakra, upper chakra, throat, crown, third eye. And we also have card 56, relationship change, with that blue and green, so that's like throat chakra, heart chakra, again, throat chakra. So throat chakra, heart chakra, third eye and crown chakra. So again, this is like all of those upper chakras being activated at the same time that you have this root activation, right? So it's like you're kind of triggered on all levels right now. And what this is really kind of showing is how, this new moon energy is activating healing for you around communication, with the throat, authenticity, your heart, your connection and relationship with spirit, even. So like religious trauma, that kind of being, recalibrated too. So things like your spiritual awareness, shifting your perspective, opening up, relationships, dynamics, because we have forgiveness and relationship changes, right? So this is a very deep process. We're not, again, not talking about surface level stuff for you guys. You're really kind of in the thick of it here. Now, with this forgiveness card, like I said, it just feels really deep, like a deeply spiritual process too, because this is the card that has the, third eye and crown chakra energy. Particularly for cancers, with that 96, it kind of looks like the cancer symbol. So like, cancers, you guys are highly emotional. Yeah, so with this forgiveness, this is a deeply spiritual process. We're not talking about like, fake forgiveness, like saying I forgive you, or that spiritual version of forgiveness, but we're talking deep soul level forgiveness, a process that needs to be worked through, sometimes on levels. Sometimes it takes years for true forgiveness to take place, because forgiveness is never about the other person. It's about you. It's about your willingness to take the wisdom and the beauty from this experience and to let go of the pain and move forward from it, not in a way that you are pretending like something didn't hurt you, and not to take away anything from the real things that you experienced, but to liberate and free yourself from carrying that pain. Just like this says, free yourself from pain. So forgiveness is what helps you liberate yourself and free yourself from that pain. It is what can actually kind of let your soul loosen its grip on all of this past pain and heaviness and, kind of like unresolved trauma here. So spiritual truths are trying to come through, higher wisdom trying to come through. Like I said, that is what comes with forgiveness. We glean higher wisdom. It's taking the wisdom from our painful experiences and moving forward with it, like it said, like I said. So I just I don't know, something about this new moon is helping you water signs really kind of look at, past relationships, connections, things that have happened within them with different eyes, from a different perspective, especially once you have forgiven that person or that situation, or what have you. It allows you to see things, like I said, from a higher perspective, from a spiritual standpoint, even, so with clarity. Okay. Now, with this relationship change, relationships obviously are one of the main places that this energy is landing. You know what I mean? This energy of forgiveness. So that could be romantic relationships, your significant others. It could be family, friendships or soul ties, or any relationships where there is an emotional bond. um, you know and like I said, this can even be religious figures that you've had relationships with, because I kind of get the energy here of like spiritual trauma being healed through forgiveness too, in this sense. I know it's not going to resonate for everyone, but for some of you it will. So take what resonates, leave the rest behind. But ultimately it's about, what relationships can stand the fire. Not every relationship can move forward with you as you are transforming and evolving into a new version of you. Not every relationship is going to be able to do that with you, because they won't all transform with you. You know what I mean? Sometimes you may be the only one that evolves or matures in a relationship, when the other person might not, or you guys might grow apart or what have you, but not every relationship is meant to move forward as we continue to grow and expand, unless the relationship can withstand the fire. Some of your connections are going to require some harsh conversations, some really heartfelt conversations, in order to bring closure, to release the pain, to bring about forgiveness. you know um some of this is even about establishing boundaries. In order to free yourself from pain, you kind of got to establish some boundaries in your relationships. And some of them might even need some distance. Um like I said, some will renew and grow, but not all of them are going to. Some will fizzle out and fade out, and um you know that is shifting. Relationships is a main focal point of this reading for you, of what is shifting and being forged in the fire right now. Okay. Now, the story of how this energy is showing up for you guys, first and foremost, that begins with this milestone card. Okay. So none of this is random. This is a milestone in your life. Like I said, this marks a new chapter. This is a pretty significant moment right now. It's threshold energy, so this is like a point of growth, something shifting forward in a meaningful way. And that could be emotional, or it might feel a little intense right now. You might have some uncertainty around it right now. But things are shifting as they are supposed to. And you have, reached a point in your healing journey where you're moving forward, right? And I say that because the next card is the honoring path. So it's really kind of showing us that path forward for you guys, is happening. And it's one of beauty, abundance, recognition, self-respect, and alignment. Choosing to honor your spirit, right? Choosing what honors yourself, choosing what serves you, choosing what helps to liberate you from this pain, and honoring yourself in your commitments, not losing yourself in your relationships with other people. So I feel like this is where you're being called onto a more aligned path for yourself. You might have been out of alignment for a little bit here. And I say that just because, you know, I can see the kind of changes. I can see the root chakra, throat chakra energy here. And so, you know, where you're headed now is more aligned and what you really deserve. You know what I mean? So I kind of get this big shift taking place, and it's a spiritually aligned shift that is, like I said, it's just like it's reaping these karmic rewards. I almost feel like it's having gone through some big growth moments that have required a lot of you, and I feel like you have kind of achieved those, and you know, now you're becoming kind of stepping into more of this aligned path. But you know, like I said, as you're transitioning, there's still a little bit of confusion around this, I feel like. Because with this decrease card that is next, it's almost like um, before this path fully gets illuminated and activated, like it's like a timeline choice point. You know how in those old 90s adventure books, you get to the bottom of the page and it's like, okay, if you make this decision, go to this page. But if you make this other decision, go to this other page, right? So I kind of feel like a lot of you are kind of in that space right now with some decisions, you know, in regards to your relationships and to yourself in those connections where you know, um, you're at a choice point for which timeline you're going to choose. And some of you, before you can get on that path of abundance with certain things can really grow, you have to let go with this decrease energy, right? You have to kind of let go or make space for those new things to come in, right? You kind of got to let go of certain things in your life in order for the beauty, abundance, karmic rewards, and everything else to come through. Some of it might be relationships for you guys, being in stagnant relationships for too long, or relationships that hold you back or cause you pain and suffering in any way, right? Like for some of you, it may be that. Again, take where resonates, leave what doesn't for others. But, you know, for some of you, that's what it's going to be, you know, where uh, in order for certain seeds that you have planted for yourself to grow, you're going to have to make room for them, you know? So, you know, some things are kind of being pulled away or stripped away or you know, decreased in some areas, you know. um, so whatever that looks like for you, you know. And for some of you, I mean, this can even be just like uh, not tolerating certain behaviors in your life, not tolerating certain things, or acknowledging certain thoughts that you have in your own head, even, you know, some of it for you, some of it's self-forgiveness. I will say that too, that needs to take place. The relationship with yourself, with your physical body, you know what I mean? Like for some of you, it's going to look one way. For some of you, it's going to look another. But either way, no matter how I look at this, I feel like this is making room, making space for what is aligned to, you know, really flow in. And like I said, for some of you, this is more self-forgiveness, self-conscious kind of things, not just relationships with other people, but your relationship with yourself. Because the next two cards I have are victim mentality and fear. Okay. So this is where we really get into some emotional honesty here. Because, you know, as things are kind of shifting, especially within relationship dynamics, you know, I say shifting because that's a number 5 card again. So like 5 is change. So as things are shifting, especially within relationship dynamics, and you know, as you know, pain is coming up to be released, it makes sense that, you know, with this Chiron energy that we have present right now, our subconscious fears are all coming up to the surface. You know, sometimes we're afraid of change. You know, sometimes the path that's truly aligned for us can be a little bit intimidating. We might have some fear around that. We might not even feel good enough for that, or what have you. You know, this is old fears rising to the surface right now. Again, because they're meant to be transmuted, you got to illuminate them first, though, right? You got to shine a light on them, and then you go through the first stage of alchemy, calcination. You burn it all away, so that what remains is pure, right? So this is old fears, old survival stories, and pain and hurt and beliefs, you know, especially beliefs around feeling powerless, you know, or like those wounds of betrayal or abandonment, you know, feeling unseen or unheard, especially with all this throat chakra energy, you know. This is where spirit's kind of showing you that these feelings are not real. You know, I mean, you may have felt that way. That's not what I'm saying, but you know, it's not your truth. In other words, this is just fear talking. Okay. So, whatever is surfacing right now, let yourself see it and hold yourself through it. Give yourself grace while you're moving through it. Really allow yourself to process it in whatever way needs to be processed right now. You know, there's, you know, a multitude of ways that you can process fear as it's coming up, you know. Especially with all this throat chakra energy, I really get this breath work, grounding into your physical body. All of that's kind of helpful right now. With this planning and action card, I see down here, writing it out, journaling, that could be helpful for you guys right now too, to help you process this energy. You know, but most importantly, recognize it for what it is. It's not real. Okay. We're making space. So whatever it is that you're feeling right now, trust it. Let yourself let it flow. You know, the tears, let the tears flow just like the water here. Okay. Those tears water the seeds that you've planted in your heart. So let it, because it's all leading you and making room for what wants to come through next. Okay. Now with the next card, conflict, you know, I can see that this might not be an easy process for you guys necessarily. It might not go too smooth because, you know, the choppy waters here, you know, so there can be some conflict. It can be inner outer conflict with your own emotions and things like that. It can be conflict in your relationships even. You know, it could be conflicts between the past and the future. I mean, it could even be conflicts between holding on and letting go. So, you know, fear and trust, all of those things, you know, between what hurts us and what heals us, you know, that it makes sense, you know, because when we're undergoing big transformations like this, there's, you know, always some friction that comes in, you know, before the next chapter really begins to open up and kind of, you know, fully land, before we see things with clarity. You know, we kind of always have a little bit of friction. So that's all this is, you know, trust it. This fire is burning away everything that is not meant to be here, so that you can have room for everything that is coming in to support you and what you have wanted, right? Because the next card is planning and action and a new supportive connections, you know. So like this is like the turning point. This is like what you're working towards or building towards. You know, you guys are not meant to stay stuck in this energy. The conflict is going to pass. It just takes some work, you know. So there is movement, you know, there is strategy here. You know, the conflict serves as much as everything else. It's just showing you where you still have some resistance, you know. But you will not stay there, you know. This is just a rebuilding process that's kind of happening right now. You know, so with planning and action, I feel like this is, the new moon energy always asks us to plant seeds, oftentimes writing intentions and things like that. But this new moon is about not just planning, but also about action. It's about taking actionable steps, not just writing those intentions down, you know what I mean? But actually taking those actionable steps when you feel inspired, because that fire horse energy is inspired, aligned action. Okay. So, you can kind of look ahead, plan your future, make some, choices with intention kind of thing. And like I said earlier, it's calling in the right people, places, opportunities, but definitely the right people. We got the new supportive connection, like I said. So, it is calling all of that in for you. New support is coming in to help you through this, new opportunities, all of that. And I feel like that's really important because one of the major areas of change for you guys is around relationships. So, with certain relationships that are changing in your life, spirit is not, leaving empty seats in your life. You're going to have new supportive connections that are going to come in as well, soul aligned connections. With people that are going to meet you on a different level, a newer version of you who are on the same frequency that you are now. Okay. So, like I said, new forms of support. And that can be emotional support or, emotional, spiritual support, just regular, everyday new friends, soul family, whatever, but I just feel like, that's what we're making space for, the new stuff, new people, places, things, opportunities, and all of that to come in. It just feels a little heavy right now because we're having to process so much shit to make space for that. So, something new is trying to enter even amongst all the chaos right now. So if it feels like that, just know that it's, it is definitely happening for a reason. Okay. Now, when I look at the best support for you guys right now for my water signs, the first card that this comes in, is through the animal kingdom. Okay. So I feel like this really connects to like signs and synchronicities, animal spirit guides, little messengers that show up, right? Like the other day I caught this black scarab beetle, and like they literally represent death and rebirth, transformation energy. And so here we are. So little things like that, where animals are showing up, they're bringing forth, wisdom and sometimes comfort, things like that. So they, reach your heart sometimes in ways that like people or words, can't. So for you water signs right now, this might be a good time to really pay attention to what animals are showing up in your field, or, what are you noticing that keeps showing up in your field, what kind of animals or little, things like that are showing up. Yeah. So it says animals of all types are extraordinary creatures and miraculous gifts to us. They've been our spiritual companions since the dawn of time. At this moment, they have lessons to share with you that will open your heart and soul. So pay attention to the animal kingdom right now, you guys. Okay, then we also have find your center. And, this came up for, I believe it was my fire signs too. This came up in their supportive, message too. And, this is all about, really kind of grounding into your body and finding your center amongst the chaos. It talks about your outside world is a reflection and manifestation of what's going on inside of you at this time. So when the outside world becomes so hectic and stressful that your anxiety starts to overwhelm you, this is an ideal moment to stop and ask yourself, when was the last time I checked in with my body? So, that's important for you guys, especially right now. Okay. So come home to yourself, slow down, find your center, check in and, ask what feels true to you before you allow the external chaos to kind of get the better of you. Okay. Now we also have seek and, you know, for you water signs, it's kind of a reminder that like spirit exists in all things. Everything is made of energy. So everything contains a fragment of spirit, even us. Okay. Because we're all connected, to spirit. We're all part of source. So, like I said, no matter what chaos is going on, no matter how uncertain things feel or how chaotic things feel, you are connected to spirit in all things. Nothing is cut off from you. So trust in those signs, trust in the quiet in your body, um, your intuition, the people who are true to you, all those little small moments and things like that, they all matter right now. But ultimately, this is to remind you, that spirit exists in all things, from the animals to the people. It is in all things. Spirit animates all things. Okay. So just slow down and notice it, slow down and notice these little moments that might be seemingly small, but might have significant impact on you through this, emotional kind of process, this sifting process right now. Now, the overall guidance or final guidance from Spirit comes from this postcard from Spirit. And I'm just going to read that directly. It says, miracles never run out. Look back over your life and you will see so many moments of synchronicity when all the right people, the right place, the right opportunities, and the right time just showed up without any of your help. Think back to how you felt just before a miracle happened. You felt like you were giving up, but it was more like a gentle surrender to whatever was about to happen. We want you to know that miracles are being concocted for you even now, and you will never ever run out of them. You just don't always get to choose how they come, who will deliver them, or when they will show up and what they will do for you. All of that is our department. Spirit knows what is best for you and wants to be expressed through you. You are incredible and amazing and a magnet for miracles. That would be a good mantra for you today. We're on it. So relaxed. If only you knew how much you were loved. So, I feel like this is so important for you guys right now because, when this pain is, kind of active and all this change is upon you right now, it's easy to sometimes forget, that spirit, what you seek is seeking you, and spirit is always concocting miracles on your behalf. So let spirit surprise you sometimes because they are preparing miracles for you even now. Okay, so stay open. Again, make space, right? That's your focus right now. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, that is your focus right now. Just to continue to work on, this deep release of pain and forgiveness, relationships, that kind of thing right now. The healing, emotional, spiritual kind of stuff in your life right now. Heart, throat, upper chakra energy right now. You guys keep working on releasing that right now because you are being brought into alignment with your highest and greatest good, your highest timeline. Right now, you're just making space for it and opening yourself up to hold the frequency of that new timeline, that new energy and everything else, So, right now you might find things are, falling away from you, people, opportunities, things like that, but do not let it discourage you. If it's falling away right now, it's because it's necessary. It's because it needs to, and it's because spirit has something greater for you. Okay. So just remember that. Remember that you are a magnet for miracles. And look out for all those different signs and synchronicities from spirit, because spirit is speaking to you right now. So pay attention, keep your eyes open, keep your heart light, and stay in the present moment, stay grounded in your body. So all right, water signs, much love, many blessings. I hope that this reading brings forth some clarity for you guys. Of course, let me know in the comments how you're feeling. Let me know what resonated for you. And of course, if there's any way that I can support you, or if you want to book a personal reading with me to see how this is going to directly impact you on a personal level, I'll go ahead and drop my booking link in the video description. But for now, lots of love. Peace.